up, YouTube? I got a reaction video today. You know what I'm saying? It's an Ohmezzy video titled "This Isn't a Joke, It's Just Racist." And I ain't seen it, but let's hop into it because apparently it is actually pretty racist.
I'm the I just sit it and I stand up. I'm the
Yeah, nah, I'm 5 seconds into the video. That is low-key. Like, I'm not okay with this. Why he feels like he should say the N-word, I don't know, but clearly there's black people around him letting him say it. You know, personally, me, I would not be okay with that. But there are some people that don't care and they let other races use the N-word. Like if you go out to not Mexico, if you go out to California, they let Hispanic people over there say the N-word. You go over to California too. Really, any race that's not white over there, you can say the N-word because they really don't care. Because apparently that's just the culture they grew up in. I'm not about that culture, right? I'm from the South, I'm from South Carolina. I don't care what race you are. I prefer if you did not use the N-word in my presence. That's just me.
don't like it. Let's get active.
If y'all's ears heard anybody say the N-word, y'all sick out y'all motherfucking mind, man. Anybody say the N-word around me getting packed the fuck out. Fuck is you talking about? But me, I'm a nigga. I ain't say no.
No. You are not. It is quite clear that you are of Irish descent, as you are a ginger white man. But, you know, some people can get racially confused. So let's talk about it.
No N-word. I said nigga. Really got that bitch on us. Really in the hood every day. Y'all marching up the wrong.
Also, it sounds like he thinks there's a difference between and like the nigga and nig So, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Street.
At the beginning of 2025, we had optimism. Sure, maybe things didn't go the way that we wanted in 2024, but hey, it's a brand new year and we're looking forward and we're looking at growing and we're looking at being positive and we're looking at all the things bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. But why are we going backwards with doing things like white people saying the N-word and caping for themselves and having people cape for them? Why are we acting like it's 1945 and people putting their hands in the air is just an A-okay thing to do? This Twitch streamer got banned for doing a hand gesture that I'm not necessarily even gonna show on the platform or even try to depict. It's kind of hard to say, but Elon Musk made it fairly famous. But just think if you were telling people to calm down or come down from there, but with a straighter arm and just had it stay at the top. That's the hand gesture that she did. Now, her actions were totally disgusting.
I don't know why, but there's a lot more Yahtzee behavior moving around the U.S. It's sickening, honestly.
And just like everybody else that I'm going to show into this video, I believe that now racism is being used for clicks, views, engagement, and it's disgusting how people are basically making these situations a-okay. Now, she did give some sort of response for this, so you always got to give those people a round of applause for responding to these things and condemning their own actions. She tweeted out, "Deserved. That was completely unacceptable and insensitive. It's not funny, it's not a joke, and it shouldn't be normalized. I also realized I cannot handle alcohol in the slightest. I'm quitting, taking this time to reflect and be more mindful of my actions." I hate when people fake claim accountability in these situations. I don't care about your justification, honestly. You can't handle alcohol in the slightest? What are you, fucking 4 years old? And why is this all being framed as an attempt of a joke? Like, this is what I'm talking about, how racism is being used for clicks in 2024. Even in your inebriated state of mind, the joke of the day or the way to get laughs off is by being nasty towards another group of people. Like, that's, I don't understand how those dots connect in people's minds, especially to the degree of being racist towards people. Now, I know that there are gonna be the people that claim to be the dark humor police in my comments section. Oh, Omar, you can't stop these.
I gotta be honest, dark humor and racism are way two different things. Like, you can make a race joke using dark humor, but they don't equate. Just being racist isn't really all that funny, right? If you are equating a joke into racism, maybe it could be funny, maybe, but more times than not, it's just racism. Like if I was making a joke that, you know, what, black people like fried chicken, that's the joke. And it's just racist. It wasn't funny, but that was the joke apparently. I don't get it.
guys from being funny. There's such thing as dark humor. South Park. I'm not gonna lie to you, the dark humor excuse has gotten so far out of control that I'm tired of hearing about it. Why we feel the need to continuously push the envelope in these regards is crazy, to the point where there's nothing even clever about this stuff. The word joke is being used so loosely in these situations. People shouldn't even be allowed to really even say it. It's not a joke. It's not funny. It's not even an attempt to be humorous. There was no setup for this. There was no the worm and then the hand end up there. This was just straight out racism. And then you have the people like these streamers that go over to foreign countries and just straight up disrespect things that cultures find to be highly respected or highly cultural or highly impactful to their day-to-day lives. Like this one streamer, Ice Poseidon, he was confronted by 14 Japanese police officers for being reported of taking an orange from a tree.
Jobs included. He will be tortured in Guantanamo Bay. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck.
Huh? Give it like 3 seconds.
Now, I know for a lot of people that seems a little bit crazy, but ultimately, that's what their culture respects. We've seen...
Yeah, I don't understand that personally, but it's their culture. I'm not going to tell you what culture is valid or not, especially if I don't understand it or I don't come from it. It's not my job to tell you what culture is valid and what culture isn't.
Johnny Somali go over to other countries and disrespect them before.
I hate that nigga, by the way. Johnny Somani, he's stupid as hell.
I don't care if you feel like it's just a statue or whatever. This is their culture and there's no need to disrespect it for the sake of comedy. And in their attempts to be funny, it's all for the same goal at the end of the day. To go viral, to get clicks, to get likes. This has become so evident that we see people at inaugurations throwing up hand signs, people that run apps, and all it is for is just attention. This is attention upon more attention upon more attention. I think there's other more innovative or progressive ways that we can get attention in today's society. And it has nothing with trying to erase what hand symbols mean or try to play it off as something different or just straight out being racist for the sake of being racist. He could do something that's good for society, like help the people out in California. That would bring good and positive attention to you. You don't always have to bait these people into getting a bunch of engagement behind defending your actions and your tactics. I don't believe that all publicity is good publicity. Honestly, it makes the people that defend you look stupid. It makes the people that pretend that they don't know what's going on look stupid, that they didn't see it look stupid. The justifiers and whatnot look stupid. Ultimately, this hurts your credibility with a bunch of different people because no, you don't have to go as far as to say, I believe in all these pronouns or whatever the case may be. If you don't claim to like those beliefs, that's perfectly fine. I guess there's a conversation to be had about that I won't get into in this video, but that does not mean that you have to go so far to get these people that sit on this side of the aisle. Oh wait, let me not do that hand signal. You don't have to go get people on that side of the aisle on your side by doing some hand signal that is clearly and deliberately racist. That's not the publicity you want. You could just have straight up decent publicity. Like you could not do bad things to gain attraction and attention, but for whatever.
Honestly, that is one of the realest things, and I'm gonna keep pushing that exact thing. If you don't like something, right? Like let's say you're against trans people, right? I don't care personally, but let's say you're against trans people. Going out of your way to put down trans people seems like a boring or stupid thing to do, to be honest. Like if I don't like something, I'm not gonna participate in it. You know what I'm saying? If I don't like something, I'm not gonna go out of my way to talk to those people to tell them that, hey, you're wrong, I'm right. No, that just seems like a waste of my time. Right? If I don't like something, I'm just not going to associate with it. But for some reason, people, like, let's say you don't like a trans person, you're going out of your way to push the idea that they don't exist, that they, shouldn't be able to do certain things. It just doesn't seem like a productive use of your time or anybody's time if you don't like them. That's just spreading hate. And honestly, we don't need that in today's world. There's enough hate as it is.
Whatever reason, there's a subsection of the internet that believes that race baiting or getting people upset by using racial tactics is the way to go.
So a lot of people say white people can't say that, but we're the ones who created it.
What is it about people like
that shit ain't even funny though. Like I'm not even being like sensitive. That wasn't funny. Like objectively, that wasn't funny. Like look, there are some times where I see like a white comedian make a joke about a black person and I'm like, huh, that's funny. Bill Burr, one of my favorite comedians, he made jokes about black people all the time. I didn't give a fuck, right? And it's not because he was white, or it's not because he was funny, dog. These people who make these jokes, they're just not funny. They don't make an attempt to be funny. They're just trying to, this is funny because I'm saying something I'm not supposed to. That's not funny. Make a joke. Don't just do racist stuff.
This guy or Sneakos or Nick Fuentes or Master Oogway, you know, people that have blatantly disrespected other races of people, that make people look to justify their actions by playing it off as some sort of joke, or make people laugh and say, yo, bro, that it wasn't that serious. What makes people justify these people's actions and downplay the importance and significance of the words or the actions that they're doing? Because all in all, what people don't understand is that these things have real life impact on people. People look at internet videos, people look at comedy, and they try to replicate it in their real lives. They try to be funny themselves. And no, they're not comedians, no, they're not tasteful, and I believe that that word is used very loosely. But when they try to enact it in real lives, these things have real consequences. There was a substitute teacher out in Texas, Jason Buchanan, who invited ICE to come to his class because many of the students didn't speak English. Like, that's what he was saying. That's his claim. Now, he says he's been fired, and good on him, but I don't know how that's funny. But
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. For what reason, as a teacher, as a substitute teacher, do you feel that it's necessary to invite ICE to come to a school that you're currently teaching at because students don't speak English? I feel like that's incredibly hateful. And there's no real need to do that, like, at all.
if I were to criticize that, people would say I'm a bad person because I don't believe in dark humor. But the main problem is that everybody is trying to do everything for the bit now, for the clip. They're trying to get this shit off. Even when we watch mainstream media, the news, they're trying to get the news off in a way that's supposed to be funny as opposed to reporting the actual facts.
What are you gonna do? Will you come take it out of my ham? I'm gonna eat half this plate during the break. Maybe I'll call the ICE hotline. I don't know if I'll have enough time. Sure. All kidding aside, it was actually really good taco. These people broke the law. They broke the law to get here.
What he did isn't even humane. Like, you don't.
That shit's not even funny. Like, I'm not even trying to be like soft or anything, because I understand if people are here illegally, you have to have at least some kind of restriction so that people just don't, especially criminals, just don't come into the country. But like, eating a taco while people who may just be like asylum seekers get kicked out the country, that's inhumane as shit. Like, you're a horrible human being.
You don't have to disrespect people and cultures if you don't believe that they should be here. Taunting people with tacos, why do you think that that's the way to get your news off? Why do you think that's the way to get your announcement? And even if you wanted more clicks and views, you can do that in a way that doesn't involve you being straight up racist. When I scroll my timelines and I scroll my feeds, I see people race baiting left, right, and sideways. I see people trying to be intentionally racist in order to get people to click and view. And I also see people try to leverage their race as a way to get a bunch of views and clicks and everything like that. Whenever a new Disney or Marvel movie comes out, when the new Star Wars television show is announced, they use the words woke, liberal, and DEI like it's a hot button. And it kind of is, and they know that, and they use that in order to get looks, clicks, and views. These people aren't even watching this content at this point. I stray away from these guys because they're not even giving genuine reviews or these pieces of content a chance in a way to actually give any sort of thought-provoking evidence as to why this content could be bad, but they're labeling it as, oh, this has a woman lead, or oh, this has a lesbian lead in it. That's why this is bad. We have comedian podcasters who are attacking marginalized groups of people, and then you have their justification by then doubling down on the attacks. And ultimately, the justifiers are the people that bring the most harm in these conversations. They write it off as jokes, they write it off as, oh, it's not a big deal, and they downplay these situations and gaslight the people that call these things out. But when I see a black pilot who has a grill and is literally certified to fly a plane, we see him getting attacks for being a DEI hire or being
Honestly, when people say DEI, it is so clear to me that they just don't think that colored people or just people of marginalized communities can have the same qualifications as a white person, right? And it's just so clear that, like, look, if you see somebody and you think that they're unqualified, find out their qualifications. It's simple as that. If you see a black person in a role that you think, oh, that's normally for white people, he probably got in just because he's black. No, quite clearly, a lot of these jobs, like doctors, pilots, I don't know what else, lawyers, they need, like, you need an education. You need, like, actual merit to get these jobs. So the idea that you're just getting a job because you're a part of this marginalized community, that's actually incredibly stupid for a lot of people to believe.
Somebody who's not qualified for a job, and I could only think, where do these people get this continued rhetoric from? It's from these content creators who keep sensationalizing every single moment that exists on the internet and making these jokes into reality.
Another successful flight. All glory be to God. Just touched down at the airport. Dealing with this career, you gotta be cautious. Most of all, you gotta stay prayed up. Believe it.
And that's why I think this United story and the DEI story hits so hard, because we've all been in the back of a plane when the turbulence hits, or when you're flying through a storm and you're like, I'm so glad I saw the guy with the right stuff and the square jaw get into the cockpit before we took off, and I feel better now thinking about that.
No, I mean, like, you want to go thought crime? Like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
In order to be a commercial pilot, you have to be incredibly qualified. You have to get like 250 hours of like certified practice flight time. That's not a degree they just hand out to anybody. In fact, it takes general years to become a pilot for a commercial airline, right? So the idea that someone's just in the cockpit because they're black is incredibly racist, stupid, and honestly, Charlie Kirk, he should hate himself because he's incredibly stupid and racist. If he's not stupid and racist, then he's the world's best grifter. No, he's not the world's best grifter. That's Elon Musk. He's just an incredible grifter.
To me, we can no longer pretend that these actions don't have consequences, that what's being put out on social media doesn't trickle into real life. If you are some of those people that sit on this side of the aisle that believe that, oh, on mainstream media, when they put all these different other groups, they promote these pronouns, etc., in the media, and that then trickles down into how my kids act, why do you not think that these same racist actions that are being promoted and normalized on television, on media, on any other certain platforms isn't going to trickle down into how people actually think today? Using this racism for clicks is not going to do any good for people. These aren't just jokes, and we need to start calling them out for what they are.
Yeah, no, I'm tired of it, honestly. People are just being racist because they think it's funny. It's really not, but, you know, do what you do. That's the video. Peace, love, and happiness, and I will see you in the next one.